Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and a brand new video on Marvel Contest of Champions. This video is to have a look at this new character, this mystery character in the top left hand corner of the right image, which is next to Venom's head. Obviously as well we see Blade in this image, and I want to talk about Blade as well and talk about the potential mistakes and kind of good points that Kabam could make with regards to implementation of the character. Obviously, there's a lot of things about whether or not this image is real or fake, but when we look to the left, and we had this image a lot earlier in last month, and speculation was Kingpin actually going to be put into the game? Was Medusa actually going to be put into the game? And it turns out that both are. So we'll go with potentially this image is real. I do hope it's not fake, but at the same time, you have to put a big question mark because we do kind of think, well, right, because could this be photoshopped? You know, what's the lay of the land? But let's say it's real. In the video, I want to look specifically at Blade and this mystery character. But obviously, as we know, Medusa is going to be a cosmic and Kingpin's going to be a skill. It's pretty obvious. So let's get into the two main characters I want to talk about. Blade as a character is one that has a rich tapestry of kind of information and kind of padding. Obviously the vampiric aspect to the character, the Daywalker, the person that is immune to a lot of things that vampires are kind of prone to, well, die from, like sunlight and silver. This is something that I like about the character. Is totally unique. However though, I feel that they will put the character in a skill format. And why do I think that? Well, it's just based on the way that they would say that this character from birth has the ability to have these skills, these superhuman abilities. Even though you could say that as a historical point of view and from the point of getting these into the blood was from a mystical source. You could argue the case with regards to mutations, but at the same time it would be difficult to kind of... He doesn't really fit in as saying, oh, hey, yeah, he's a mutant. More than likely, it will be in the case and form of either a skill or a mystic. The argument for Blade becoming more of a skill-based character is determined by his kind of growth as a character. The way that he is trained by Afari, which is Jamal Afari, who's kind of a father-like figure to him. Kind of teaches him how to be a good vampire hunter, as well as kind of keeping a lot of his powers at bay, but at the same time turns him into a bit of a kind of an assassin. So that is one element of kind of saying, well, he's a skill because he's learned that skill set. The mystic aspect is a hard thing to justify. I think that looking at it from a creation point of view and what kind of like mystical aspects are to his lineage and his birth and kind of the previous stuff with regards to vampires being the kind of catalyst for him being how he is now. That's the only thing you could really kind of attribute that to. So as long as he is mystic or skill, that will be brilliant. I want to see plenty of kind of aspects like healing factor in there. So a skill with regeneration, it will be pretty kind of far-fetched, but at the same time would be a little bit unique, and I do like that aspect. A character maybe that is similar in some ways to Gwenpool, I would like that idea, and then kind of developed through. With regards to vulnerabilities, I think that I don't think we're going to see many. If anything, poisons would still affect a vampire. Same thing with regards to obviously bleeds. But you would kind of like think that the character would be able to regenerate against stuff like that. Maybe as soon as they get a detrimental effect, then it kind of puts a kind of healing factor to it. So the vampire is trying to, or half vampire even, is trying to kind of squash those kind of things that are going to really kill the character off. And obviously the main thing I want to see is plenty of gun action, sword play, just a real amazing, ferocious, half vampire, half human character. And the look in particular is very similar to Wesley Snipes' Blade, and that's largely to do with structure, like bone structure, kind of like jaw lines, and a little bit towards the kind of modern movies, especially like the third and the second one, where we see like a different kind of like hairstyle and kind of the tattoo kind of formats with that. Either way, what the character looks like at the moment, they can't go wrong. They just can go wrong with regards to getting the abilities as well as the fighting sequences and specials. So hopefully they get it right. Okay, so let's look at this mystery character here. Now, to start off with, a lot of people have said that this is Venom Pool, which is very difficult to kind of piece together, especially because the outfit looks a little bit different. I'm not saying it isn't, but with regards to design, obviously scaling wise, hard to say. Like, this is a big character, small character. The appearance looks very kind of like World of Warcraft character race. I can't remember what they were called, but yeah, the golden eyes there and golden lips. You just don't know who to kind of pin that against. Obviously, I did say in MCOC News it could be Hemdale based on obviously golden eyes, but again, hard to kind of like pinpoint that against. However, though, the rumor mill has started, and a lot of sources have been kind of quoted in getting a more structured formulation for this character. It still is very difficult to pinpoint whether or not it is male or female. A lot of people have pointed to the source of this Paul Tassi article, which is around the time of the Secret Empire in Marvel Contest of Champions, and yeah, points to a lot of information which is important to this video. In this article, Paul's in conversation with Gabe Frizera about Guillotine and also the addition with more characters, and he says, oh yes, there's a new character being produced right now. This time a villain. All I can say is this character will expand Guillotine's universe in a big bad way. Now that's all well and good, and it does say, hey, you know, this champion that's going to be added in could be a villain for Guillotine, but there is a big issue that then comes up as a result of it. The problem really is expanding on a universe which, kabam, yes, they have every right to expand on, but they don't have the key writers and, say, key story makers involved in order to make it a little bit more prominent. So in order to give our story a little bit more padding, we need to take you on a Guillotine story. And let's start with the most freshest information, and that she has made a reappearance in US Avengers. So far, I've not found any significant information to kind of pinpoint maybe there could be someone within US Avengers which looks like that champion, which instead means that even though this is the more freshest kind of story for Guillotine, there's a lot of backstory which has not been filled out if kabam put in a character quite like this. And obviously one of my biggest criticisms is about using the main man to kind of create a universe. Al Ewing did a fantastic job with regards to Guillotine and providing a fresh and unique character. Now putting in a villain with kind of not so much information and understanding is wrong. I really hope that what they've done is they have consulted with Al. If you want to find out more information about Guillotine, this is the podcast / interview that I had with Al on the channel, and the link is in the description. And we're going to go over the character and its universe. So I thought it only fitting to message Mr. Al Ewing and find out what his take was on this image. So obviously I sent the image. I said a lot of people are saying that this character in the far left is the new Guillotine universe expansion character, but is it something you developed or MCOC might have developed? His response was, I don't know who that is. I haven't touched any Contest of Champions stuff since the comic. So someone that created Guillotine has an understanding of the universe, is not in any way, shape or form involved in this new character, regardless of what's going on. And that is something that I don't like. I don't like that based on the fact that you've got to kind of understand the character to kind of develop the character and develop their universe. Yes, you can add in one villain, and obviously you can put this and say, oh yes, this is an alternate version, alternate universes, but at the same time, a character that's really fresh usually only has you know, some couple of villains to start with before then expanding outward. Thrusting one champion in as kind of we've made this, it's in, and not really understanding the universe is pretty darn weak. Unless, and this is the big unless this champion here has anything to do with the sword. La Fleur de Mal. I think I said that right. I'm terrible with regards to pronunciation of it. But what if this sword belonged to that champion or that character? That, in my mind, would probably be a better fit. And then we kind of understand the context with regards to the universe. Either way, it is a very exciting time, but at the same time, from my perspective, and really liking to make a really strong story that's padded out and we get a great understanding of the universe, it may be a big disappointment. But I'm really hoping that that's the case, that this villain is the first owner of the Fleur de la Mal. I'm hoping I don't have to say that ever again, and is going to cause some trouble for Guillotine. That is what I hope from that, and that it's not completely ridiculous. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, remember to hit that like button and subscribe for more Marvel Contest of Champions based content. I've put a link to my podcast / interview with Al Ewing in the description below, and I strongly suggest you go watch it. If you're interested with Guillotine, then please give it a look. It's more of a historical kind of aspect with regards to the character, and it's the story about the different guillotines through history, as well as some information. They kind of talk about maybe the idea for a guillotine film in the future. Either way, also give some support and love to Al Ewing. A link to his Twitter is in the description below as well. And thanks again, and I shall catch you on the flip side. Bye bye for now.